Hey everyone, here's Aaron. And for this week I thought we were gonna do something a little bit more reminiscent. Because if you follow my channel for some amount of time, you know that I love to draw for the channel and also for myself. I don't draw a lot anymore, but I used to draw like nearly daily because I just love drawing. So I dug out a stack of old drawings, it's like this big, that I made. I also have a little booklet which I'm not gonna show you because there's not a lot in there, because as soon as I got my booklet I nearly stopped drawing, so I should get back into that. But I have some drawings from all circles of time in here. That's not a drawing. Anyway, and I wanna share them with you, and I'm gonna flip this over so that we not start at the top, which are the most recent ones, which are still like I think nearly half a year old by now, if not older. But I wanna look through those drawings. That's not a drawing. So the way I'm gonna do this is like right here, and now it's permanently affixed here, so I'm gonna slip a little bit over to this side. So now you have the drawing up there and I can have it in front of myself. So editing magic. This is something that I drew while I was in apprentice school, and I drew this while we had class and was just listening and drawing and doing stuff. I even signed it at the bottom with my name, which is really funny. From anatomic things it's a little bit wonk, but this was when I first started off doing this, and the thing that I drew the most was actually just dragon heads, like the one that I uploaded on Twitter and Instagram, I don't know, a few days ago for you, maybe a week, no, just a few days ago. Everything else just I kind of did, and I even went through the trouble and drawing all the single scales in. I don't know why I just made the wings looking kind of darkened, I don't know. I think that actually was the first full body drawing that I actually drew. That's why things might look a little bit awkward from hand positioning and whatnot, but I like it. It can be a lot better. I know that if I would have drawn a lot more since that, I could do a lot better. I probably can because I still draw every now and then, but this is holding up nicely as it is. Oh, it's that one! Here. Just, I'm gonna do this like this. Kerchunk, there you have it. The name above it is irrelevant. I think I drew this even with a pen. Not pencil or anything. I think that was a pen, which, I mean, turned out nice. Also off the little scales and everything. I like it. That's a 10 for me. Like, legitimately, I enjoy this drawing a lot. As far as things go, I enjoy this a lot. Apparently I drew that. So I think that was supposed to be my interpretation of a Pokemon like Messigno, which is just a glitch Pokemon, but spewed a lot of fan art and stuff anyway. And I went ahead and drew this thing, saying that it has an evolution that would kind of lead into Messigno. I don't know, it's called Lonob. Interesting. I don't know what age I drew some of those things, but it looks funky, and it's essentially a ball, which lends itself very well to a lot of Pokemon shapes, so 10 out of 10, couldn't have drawn anything better. Oh, there we go. So there we have the evolutional scale. There we have Lonob over to Messigno, which essentially was just like a reptile-esque thing. Kinda weird why I didn't go with just normal Messigno and gave it that shape, but I mean, I guess Messigno can be whatever you want it to be. Looking at it, it's just a bunch of code that's garbled up, so if you wanted to create something out of that, it can't be whatever you want. There's something that I want to say, and it is a quote from someone else. And they said, as long as it's friend-shaped, it can be a Pokemon. Pretty sure a lot of people could see this as a friend, so I guess I succeeded in making my own fake mon, so cool. Probably would go away with the name Messigno. Oh, I just realized Messigno is missing number, Lonob is lost number. Genius! But yeah, I guess I made my own fake mon as well. Which isn't a bad thing. I mean, fake mon look cool. Just It's just my Missigno again, just a little bit more edgy because, you know, I'm an edgelord. Edgy Missigno gets a 7. That looks edgy. What is that? That I pretty sure draw while I was working. And we had a break. That's just an eyeball. And it looks funky. Could have been better. A lot more detail and everything could have been done, but for drawing that next to work, I think I'm fine with that. That is so funny. Oh! Oh heck yeah! I didn't know that I had that. I thought I gave that away. I drew some weird things like that. That's a rhino crocodile. That actually looks really good. I mean, I drew this with a pencil, not a pen, so I had a lot more control over how things should look. Dang, I like that. That's a 10 out of 10. Like, legitimately, not even for a joke. I really like that. I mean, the claws are a little bit wonky. I did not know I still had the rhino crocodile. I thought I gave that away. Because it also says happy birthday for someone else up there. So I would have... Maybe I just sent it via WhatsApp. That could be. That's my little Mouser from Transformice. That's Keith then. With the stand-up that he had back then, like the camera glasses, the little weed thing sticking out of his mouth, the bandana, his horns, and the headphones. A little Mouser. It was a nice drawing. Not a good one, but a nice one. Keithlin is my first mascot that I had for the channel. Keithlin is nice. That's not a drawing, by the way. So there was drawings that I did with pen and colored pencils. I don't know what they're called right now. And you look nice, like really streamlined. They weren't fake mons, by the way. They were things that I created for a story that I was writing, which I never wrote. So a story that I have in my mind. I don't even know everything anymore that I had planned for that back then. But that thing looks nice. Rather simple, I wanna say, but I'm totally fine with that. So the color scheme is cool. I like the color scheme for you. Ah, there we go. That's a little bit more. So this body is on top of a mountain. I actually drew a sun up there as well. It's just essentially the same thing, just with other details. The wings look better than on the other one, I want to say, but they are essentially the same. The question is which one was the first one, and I want to say that this is the first one because I added details to the thing in the background. So I was drawing the picture first and then thought I could do something more with that. The mountains look horrific. Ha! That's all. That were the first designs that I made for Dark Flames, where you got to see the head from. I'm gonna jump over to the next design that we have back there. There we have a little bit more to look at, and dang, it looked a little bit like Typhlosion, I wanna say. Maybe that was my inspiration for it as well, I don't know. Not well drawn, I wanna say. For me back then it was really good. I don't say that the amount of effort that I put into something isn't worth it. And if you look back at all the drawings, you will always think, ah, that was horrible. But I'm well aware that even though by my standards now and how I can draw now, that this is bad, but you need to draw bad first to essentially become better at drawing. And so therefore I'm really happy to still have so many drawings, because I used to draw all kinds of stuff and don't have everything. That's just a lot of things that I was able to save, but not everything, I'm pretty sure. Some drawings I even gave away, so I'm pretty sure I don't have everything. They are fun. There's another one of you. I did a lot of him. Oh my god. This one's really bad, but you can see the stomach pattern a little bit more, so guess that's fine. Then we have him crawling on all four. In case you didn't know, I was a little edgelord back then. And then just one that is even worse than the first one. And this is legitimately worse than the first one that I showed you. The first one that I showed you is actually better than this one, I think. Going through all of that, the designs that I had back then for it were weak and not well thought out. But I had a general shape where I wanted it to be in, at least. Ooh. I kinda like that drawing. A little bit too soft on the mountain surface, but overall this has like really nice vibes to it, like the dark and everything, and then the few white and lighter spots in it. Again, for a mountain range, it's way too curvy, not enough harsh edges, and it does not blend over really well, but it has like the touch of a Japanese or Chinese long, like the snake-like dragon's really long body. I mean, it's short in comparison, but still, it has a little bit of that vibe going on. Overall, I think I could draw this thing a lot more polished today, even with a better mountain, I want to say, and would make this look really nice. So, as something to draw from, this is good, I want to say. That's like where I decided to make them look a little bit more like fish, I guess. Also, this down there looks really funky. I think it looks like a fish, like legitimately. There's nothing that I can say that does not convince me that that's not based on the shape of a shark, just with arms. This portal apparently that I drew. Portals in the ground though, not in the sky, so I was a little bit more original. It looks really funky, I enjoyed that a lot. And yeah, it's a fish. Ooh, that one looks nice, like just the whole paper white, and then you have this spot there in the middle where everything just kind of happens. So that's cool. Still just uses the same color scheme, which is, I guess, white and black in that situation. So there could be a lot more that I could have done with colors in general, but I also didn't tend to draw in my drawings that often. Not too interesting otherwise, just nice composition, but that's about it. Ah, they have one that is definitely not inspired by the slivers from Magic the Gathering. Like, 100% not. This is not at all inspired by the slivers of Magic the Gathering. And therefore I'm not gonna rate it at all, because you can't prove anything that I like the slivers from Magic the Gathering, which this definitely was not based on. There is a whale! Like, legitimately, I based this drawing on a whale. And you can see it. It also kind of looks like a torpedo. Yeah, we have a full-on drawing right there. Like, boom. So the little tree on the side looks kind of like you would suspect. Like a typical tree, and then there's just a few roots that I drew in there. It's a funny drawing. The mountains again, really rounded up mountains. Like no edges whatsoever, because we do not like edges right here. It looks desolate and then like a wasteland, which I guess I was going for, but everything's just dark. And even if you want to do dark drawings, you can play around a little bit more with shades and with lighting to make things look more interesting. But I think those things, all of those drawings were back then when I still was just figuring out lighting and whatnot. Oh. And then we have you. There's a few drawings of this little fella as well. So, gonna show you that one. And then this one, because in this one I think I drew him rather nice, even though again he's just kind of black on black. And yes, his name is essentially Raven. Oh wait, there's another one. There looks a little bit wonky, but playing with perspective is one thing, I guess. So again, from design, really simple made, nothing really super engaging here though. I just don't know, all of them kind of fall in the same note, because I did not want to draw limbs too much back then, because limbs are tedious, and therefore I just kind of took one half of the limbs away, which were the legs mostly. So, making it easy on myself. But Raven, how I called him, which I guess was just a work title and not the real name. Like, I could assume everything that I gave right there was just work titles and not like their full-on names that they're gonna have. I would not pride myself in saying that the designs that I made were amazing. They were just the designs that I made. There we have this thing, please. That's like the whale that I showed you earlier, but with an upgraded design. And I think the upgraded design looks really nice, because now it looks more like a whale with wings, which makes it a lot more interesting, because therefore you have the combination of something that you associate with something being inside of the water, and then you see the wings with its something that you associate with being in the sky. And just having the hints of what is like darkened and what is in a different color, just having that immediately makes this so much more interesting than just having black on black the whole time. Therefore, I like this design a lot more than the others that I showed you. But let's go over to you, buddy. That was from a different story that I had an idea from. And it's essentially like a body morphing story, like people that had the ability to transform into other creatures or beings, and they would engage in combat for sport, like a tournament or something. And that was the main character that I designed. Again, you cannot see on my drawings that I was a little edgelord with the permanent red and black. Or a gamer, because that's the same thing essentially. Red and black is the combination of gamer colors as well, so an edgy gamer, I guess. The fact that it's not symmetrical is making it so much more interesting. It's a little bit more on the Digimon vibe than the Pokemon vibe. So I guess it kinda has something from Digimon. Was it Frontier where they were the Digimon themselves? Digimon? I guess. So it was kind of in that vein, I guess. But yeah, from design, it was a lot more interesting than the other things that I showed you, so this holds up better, even though it's still not well drawn. Then that's interesting. That was my first attempt at drawing something mechanical, like a robot. And I think that's also the only time that I ever drew something like this. The little shadowy thing on by its hand is for scale, that you see how tall it is compared to an average human. Which, why would I draw that all the way up there by the hand and not down at the feet for scale? I don't know, I just drew stuff. But yeah, it looks interesting. I would love to know what I exactly had in mind for the head shape, because it kind of just looks like a star. It has vibes of just a person being inside of a robot suit. Nothing more, nothing less. This is a person inside of a robot suit, easily to be made into a kaiju movie from Japan, I guess. Then we have our little buddy scurrying on the ground there again. Also, the thing that looks like his hair waving in the wind was supposed to be like an armored shell, I think. So I don't know how that would be waving in the wind, so whatever. Less interesting than the first one that I showed you. Still interesting, not gonna lie, but less interesting, so I guess we can jump in one more time and we're gonna finish up this, because I don't want to do this too long. But let's just see what else we have here for the last few minutes. So we have this little buddy. He looks like a Pokemon on one end, and on the other hand he looks like something from an alien movie, which I guess was the idea that I was going for. I guess the idea behind this thing was it's a monster roaming in the plains or something, and it uses its bush-like shape to camouflage in, and that way it hunts prey. I'm making assumptions about my own drawings, but they might be correct. I mean, I don't know anymore. I haven't written down anything on that. It's an interesting one, and you can actually see a lot more detail inside of the fur, I wanna say, than you could see on any other things that I've drawn. Also, it was one of the first things that I drew with fur, so gonna give myself kudos for that. Ta! I like you. That thing was essentially meant to be a slime. Yep, a slime that morphed together with like a golem. I don't know why. And you can do any design that you want for that, so take that idea as you want. I don't know how I got that idea, but it's an interesting idea. Oh, that's not a good one. That thing, I mean, it looks like something you would see in a Metroid game. But I drew this with marker. So everything that could have been visually interesting is like really gone. It still looks like a combination of like the Tektites and something from Metroid. So kinda guess that's where I drew my inspirations as well. And this is like a Louis from the Bomberman games. This is a Louis. There is like nothing that would convince me otherwise that this isn't a Louis. But it has a saddle, so maybe it's even a Yoshi. It's both actually. It was used to transport people in the mountains, I guess. Oh, interesting. There's another thing, like a wolf-like thingy. Design 1, which looks kinda nice. And then we have design 2, which is a little bit more sleek and at the same time a little bit more jobby. Can you see that I had no idea how to draw legs? I don't know if you can see that. It has the same markings and designs that Dark Flames had, because I think that was supposed to be like the counterpart of Dark Flames. Like they were like two sides of the same coin, like yin and yang, just in a different way. I don't know. There we go. I say that's the first part. And then we have this part still left. And here are the more recent drawings on it as well, so I'm really looking forward to showing you this maybe next week or so. That was really fun looking through all of them again. And essentially just saying, my art style is fascinating and ever shifting, but that's totally fine. Because that's what art should be. You can draw the way you enjoy something and you switch it up and experiment around and find new methods of drawing something that you always drew one way before, because you just enjoy evolving your art style and figuring like new techniques out and just trying out. You should not always be stuck with one drawing style. Even if people say that they don't like a new style, nobody should be here to tell you you can't change your style. And for everyone who might want to take some of the visuals there, some of the drawings that I had, and redraw them, feel free to do with them whatever you want. Those things are so old by now, and even if some of them might be for story ideas or not, I will never do anything more with them. So if you want to redraw anything, go nuts, have fun with them. Maybe I will redraw some of them on the channel as well. That might be an interesting thing. Maybe even on paint with a mouse again, because I cannot draw normally apparently. Anyway, I hope you liked looking through some old drawings. We're gonna do the same thing next week again, because I still have some left, and yeah, I don't know if you enjoyed it, but I had fun with it, so we're gonna have that another time. So, see you then. Bye.